ISKCON Pune temple, and Prabhuji is also a very expert youth preacher, and he has opened a club called Voice, through which has got centers in many colleges, and many youth are getting benefited by attending the programs of Voice Club. And some of you sitting here also must have been. Prabhuji also travels all over the world, especially to America, Boston, and several cities in America to preach Krishna consciousness 2 months in a year. And in India also, Prabhuji goes to all the major IITs, NITs, and also many cities like Pune, Kolkata, Kanpur, Mumbai, Thane, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Dharwad, Belgaum, Mysore. And Prabhuji visits here at least 3 times in a year to give his association. Prabhuji has delivered seminars in MIT Boston, Stanford University, University of Washington, Cornell University, and also in many corporate companies like Amazon, Bank of America, Infosys, Deutsche Bank, Cognizant, Persistent, etc. And today also we had a seminar in the Anand Sagar Institute, which was very much appreciated by all the directors and the secretaries of the college. And Prabhuji is told to give a very brief introduction, so I'll cut it short here. And more introduction you will find when you hear from him the message of Shri Hanumanji in this seminar. So let's welcome Prabhuji by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvanmelitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yatra yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam tatra tatra Kritamastakанjalim Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namataka Rakshasantakam. I bow down my head at the lotus feet of Sri Hanumanji, who is certainly seen in any place where Lord Ramachandra's name, form, pastimes and glories are discussed, and he bows his head down and shedding tears of love for Lord Rama. And such a Hanuman is destroyer of Rakshasas. To that Hanuman I offer my namaskar. So you all can hear me very clearly. Those in the last row, is the volume good enough? Okay. Welcome all of you for this festival. His Grace Varna Gaurahari Prabhu told me that this has been going on regularly. Very wonderful to see so many of you. Before you get into the PPT, I want to say a little background about Hanumanji until he reaches the shores of the Indian Ocean. Prior to that, what happened, that is also a very interesting part. But I didn't keep the PPT because it will take a long time and we won't be able to complete. So I'm going to give you a brief note about it. In Ramayana, you find so many lessons for our personal life, within family, within your friend circle, within your professional circle. How you should deal with people in a human way, how you should deal with people in different relationships, and many qualities like respect, obedience, trust, love, and integrity. All those qualities come into play when you read this pastime. So I will tell you a little bit of the previous history before they arrived at the shores of Indian Ocean, as I told you. When Sugriva and Rama, they both had a meeting, they called all the Vanaras and sent them to different parts of the universe in search of Sita. So Hanuman was sent with a team of Vanaras headed by Angada. Who is Angada, son of Vali. So he was made the team leader. So when Angada and team went, in that team there was also Tara, who was earlier Vali's wife now. She was also part of the team. And there were other great personalities like Jambavan and other Vanaras also. So as they were proceeding towards South India, in one place, they all got very fed up because it was a dry and parched land. There was no greenery, no water, no fruits, no berries, nothing. So the monkeys thought, you all are going to die. There is nothing to eat here, what to do? So one monkey, one of the Vanaras found there was one area which appeared to be very greenish with lot of flower bearing plants and fruits. So he called the monkeys in the direction. As they walked in the direction, suddenly they realized they had got into one Swayamprabha's cave. But they were not able to go out of it. They could go only inside it. So after they reached there, there was one Swayamprabha Apsara. She was sitting there and meditating in a yogic posture. So she saw this new guest arrived there. So she opened her eyes. Then she told them about her identity. She told them that this cave belongs to Hema, another Apsara, and she has given this to me for my residence here. But this is a very peculiar cave, she said. Anybody who comes in cannot go out on their own unless I chant a mantra. Only then it's a mystical cave it is. And then she said, I am sure why you all have arrived here, because you are seeing the abundant fruits available here, orchards, honey, and all those things are available here. You are very delighted by the sight of all these things. Never mind, you are my special guest, so eat as much as you wish, she said. So they all immediately partook of the opportunity. After eating to their full belly, all the monkeys started dancing very happily, very joyful. So now they were thinking that we never got such a nice eatables in all these days. So at that time, Tara gave one proposal. She told the leader of the team, Angada, this place is so good, why don't we stay here itself? What is the need of going out of this cave? Anyway, we couldn't find Sita. So if we go back and tell Sugriva that we couldn't find Sita, he may kill us. We punished. So she said, better we stay here itself. And hearing that, Angada also nodded the head. I think that's a very good idea, he said, and stay here. At the time, Hanuman was watching all this. See, why I am telling you this particular section is very, very important. Hanuman told Angada, Angada, you are a leader of the team. You are considered to be very intelligent. Therefore, you are made the leader. But you can't afford to lack integrity. A leader requires integrity means acting according to your promise, keeping a promise. You made promise to Sugriva that you will search for Sita. Now you all are becoming dissuaded by sense gratification, just to eat and drink and be merry and enjoy your own life. How can you afford to not fulfill your promise? So Angada said, because Tara said, I also accepted, I am also not sure what is to be done, he said. And Hanuman said, if you fellows want to stay here, Lakshman will definitely come and find out this place. And surely he will come with his bow and arrow and finish all of us. So it is therefore, even if you don't find Sita, you have to go and tell Ram. Because we are working under Ram and Sugriva. He is our king. So all of them agreed after that. Then they told Swayamprabha, please help us to get out of the cave. Then she told them all to close their eyes, chant a mantra, and then they were all transported outside. So now all of them agreed to Hanuman. What we learn here is, sometimes in a team, different mindsets people have. Some people have lethargy, laziness. They want to be in comfort zone, just eat, drink and be merry. They don't work hard. Then there are other people who may do a lot of work but in the wrong direction. It's called whimsical action, we call it. Not contributing to the vision and goal of the team. So here people are lethargic after eating and they just want to relax. And Hanuman actually warned them and woke them up. One speciality with Hanuman you will see is his sight of the ultimate vision or the goal is never lost. He always keeps that in his heart because he's such a loyal servant of Ram. So when they all came out, they came to one area where they saw huge mountains and there was one eagle sitting there, huge eagle. So the monkeys, all of them came and sat in a row, they all sat. And they were talking to each other. It's all the doing of Kaikeyi that Ram was sent to forest. It was because Ram was sent to forest, Sita was stolen away. It is because Sita was stolen away. We all are sent out on, search after the Sita. And they were saying, and because Sita was stolen away by Ravana, and therefore Jatayu was killed. Jatayu was killed by Ravana when he tried to protect Sita. They were talking like this. And then they were saying that it seems that we won't find Sita. Better we starve and commit suicide. They got suicidal thoughts like this. This is also a self-destructive thought. So at that time, when they were talking like this, that bird, Sampati, he thought so many monkeys are planning to commit suicide, I can eat all of them one by one, I can keep a feast for many days. He was thinking like that. At that time, the bird heard the name of Jatayu. Immediately, the bird became interested. He called the monkeys, please come here. And the monkey said, this fellow was already planning to eat us. If you go near, definitely he will eat us. And the other monkey said, anyway, you are planning to die, even if the eagle eats, what's the problem? They're saying, let's go and find out. Eagle said, I'm going to give you some very valuable information, which will help you in your journey, in your search for Sita. So they came near. Then the eagle requested them to kindly please catch me and bring me down to a certain area. So they brought him down. They were surprised how the eagle has no wings. Then the bird, Sampati bird, started telling his story. Me and Jatayu are brothers. One day we both were flying up in the sky. We went higher and higher and higher. And Jatayu's wings were slowly getting burnt by the sun, and I wanted to protect him. So I went above him and I was protecting. In the meantime, my wings got burned. And Jatayu's wings were saved. Therefore, I came down like this. At the time, Angada felt that this fellow is telling long stories. What will happen to our goal of finding Sita? So immediately Angada said, thank you for your story. We will hear your story later. But right now, tell us, can you help us with any information about Sita? From this, we learn one very, very important lesson. That whenever we encounter our friends, we tend to gossip a lot. Actually, you want to go to a friend to talk about some subject because you want to learn from the friend. But then when you go for one purpose, but you forget the purpose. And then both of you chat about this movie, that movie, and you come back. It happens like many times. So therefore, we have to be very goal-oriented. When you're going for some goal, don't forget the goal. So therefore, he reminded him, wait a minute, you said you will tell us something about Sita. Now you're talking something else about your own story. Please tell us. And the bird said, please wait patiently. Very soon I'm going to tell you about Sita. When my wings got burned, he said, I fell down. I came near this cave. And he said, I thought, what is the use of a bird without wings? Better let me die. I was thinking like that. So at that time, there was one Nishakara sage. He saw me and said, I bless you that you will grow your wings, but not now. It may take a pretty long time. When some Vanaras will come in this locality, that is the time you will grow the wings. When you give them a very sublime truth to them, some very valuable information to them you will give. At that time, your wings will grow. So the bird said, that was almost 8,000 years ago. So long period I have been waiting. So now that I have seen the Vanaras and I am going to tell the truth to you, and I think the sage, whatever he promised me, is going to turn out to be truth now. So let me tell you the truth about Sita, he said. He said, I have telescopic eyes and I can see the Lanka, which is golden. The Trikuta Parvat I can see. On that there is a big palace of Ravana and also the Ashokavatika and all those things I can see from here across the Indian Ocean. So the eagle showed direction. He said, if you go towards the south in that direction, definitely you will find Sita there. As soon as the bird said it, immediately the wings grew for Sampati. So from Sampati, we learn a couple of lessons also. Sampati said, at the time when he was speaking to Vanaras, he said, I don't have the wings now, So I can't fly to Lanka and help you carry any of you to Lanka. I can't do that. But I can serve Lord with my mouth, he said. When you don't have the hands and legs, you can still serve the Lord with your mouth. Which means, nobody can say that I don't have enough resources to serve the Lord. Even if you don't have the wings, you can still serve with your speech. That kind of thing you can do. So, uh, in this way, he served Ram by revealing the truth to the Vandaras. Another lesson we learn from Sampati is one of patience. You see, if you have a limitation and somebody has blessed you, that limitation will be gone. But you need patience. Most people want instant results, or they're willing to be patient. Instant. Everybody wants instant results. Very quickly. Like one very hefty man with obesity. He was having a lot of breathing trouble. He went to a doctor and said, "Doctor, can you help me with the quick weight loss program?" Doctor said, "You have such a huge body. How can I reduce your fat so quickly?" Doctor said, "First you cool down. Sit down first." So there are many people who want to relieve stress quickly, relieve the bodily weight very quickly, instantly. But actually, everything in this world, anything good you want to do requires patience, which you learn from Sampati. Sampati was patient on one hand and willing to speak about the truth to the monkeys on the other hand, both ways. Now the Vantas were very happy after getting this news. And Sampati also told one more thing. Said, they asked somebody, how do you know these things? How can we be confident? How can we trust you that what you are saying is true? What is the proof? They asked. Then Sampati told. Sampati had one son called as Vrishaparva. He was there. So he used to go and bring some eatable for this bird. Bird was in the cave. He said, I was just sitting at the edge of the cave. My son used to come. So my son told me, Sampati said that when Sita was being carried by Ravana, she was weeping loudly and he could hear the sound. And he saw Ravana going through the skyway. So he came and told me. That's how I know. He said. So they were more confirmed now. Now after that, all the Vanaras went to the edge of the ocean. Now as soon as they arrived there, they took a deep breath and said, now everything appears practically impossible. How are we going to cross this ocean? And that's where we are here now. See, they all saw the ocean. And leader has sat down. Who is the leader? Angada. See, one of the bad qualities of any leader is to become depressed. Because Yatha Raja, the leader himself is depressed, how the people under him can fight? So Hanuman is coming and asking, hey leader, what are you doing? Don't be depressed like this. Get up. Give confidence to your team. Something similar happened with one more leader. Anybody knows who is that? Arjuna, correct. Arjuna also in the beginning of battle of Kurukshetra, he put his Gandiva bow and said, Nayotsya, I will not fight, he said. Nayotsya, Govindam. Nayotsya, Uktva Tushnim Babuvaha, it said. He became silent. He said, Nayotsya iti Govinda. Uktva Tushnim Babuvaha, it says. So Arjuna also was like that. He put his bow down and I won't fight, he said. So at the time Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita and then motivated him to get up and do his duty of performing Dharma Yuddha. Actually, Arjuna is fighting for Krishna, that is Dharma Yuddha. And Hanuman and all these Vanaras are searching after Sita. That is also the path of Dharma because it is for the pleasure of Rama. Correct, no? So, especially in the path of Dharma, we should not become lazy. What is our path of Dharma? Chanting Hare Krishna, rising early in the morning, sleeping early at night, and following the four regulative principles, and studying Prabhupada's books, living in the company of devotees. So, these are all dharmic activities that Krishna conscious devotee is supposed to perform. And in this, we should not have laziness. If you have laziness and lethargy in this, then we will have to face the current of Maya in this world. It's like, if you are X amount Krishna conscious, then Maya is 1 minus X. That much only she will have effect. If on the other hand, if our Krishna consciousness is weak, proportionately that much Maya will become stronger. Actually, we have to be subservient to one out of the two. Just like right now, you all are citizens of India. Huh? So you are following the state law now. Correct now? As a law abider. And if you have become a lawbreaker, we follow another law. What is that law? If one becomes a lawbreaker, which law they follow? Jail law. Huh? So, but everybody has to follow any one law. Correct now? Can anybody say, I won't follow any law? I will neither be in the jail nor in the state. No, I can. Then you have to hang in the sky somewhere. Huh? You have to follow either of the two. Correct now? Yeah. Like for example, there is no place in this world where you can say that you are free from everything. Like for example, you go to college. You have to enter the college at certain time. You have to come out at certain time. There are periods. Then there are also exams you have to give. Courses you have to pass. You join a company, the siren blows, you have to enter the company. Siren blows, you have to come out of the company. Even if you are doing work from home, they say you work as many hours as you want, but you have to finish the project. And they will give you whatever project you can finish in 2 weeks, they will tell you to finish in 1 week. So therefore, people, even at home, people work 14 hours. Many times you see that. So you will see that whether you are in college, whether you are in company, wherever you are, we all have to follow somebody. Nobody is free. So therefore, lethargy is bad. Why? Because lethargy makes you stagnated. You become stagnated. And stagnated water stinks. You know that? It can do no good. And stagnation is in tamoguna. So one has to be moving. Krishna condemns that in Bhagavad Gita. Dirgha Sutri is saying tamoguni. So one should not. So here you find Angada, although he's a leader, he is becoming disheartened in his efforts. He is not considering various possibilities on how we can go to Lanka. So even if you don't know a way, you can always consult and find out an alternative way, correct now? So here Hanuman is telling him, come on, get up. Let us find out some way together. Let us put our heads together and find out some alternative, how to go. Hanuman is telling. At the time, here's the plan to jump. So they're watching the ocean now. The first lesson, be confident in whatever task is given to you. Don't give up despondency or hopelessness after seeing the vast ocean. Yeah. Now, here comes a very important point. If you can't do something, you can always delegate. See, the leader is not expected. This is spoken by Jambavan. Now, Jambavan told, actually, Angada did one very intelligent thing. Angada told Jambavan that, see, you are Vayovriddha, Jnanavriddha. You are aged than all of us. You are a beer, more aged, and you have a lot of experience also. So why don't you help us with some suitable advice how we can cross this ocean and find out Sita? So now then he takes lead, which means even if you become a team lead tomorrow anywhere, it's not wrong on your part to request one of your team members to take lead and suggest if that fellow is more experienced. Correct, no? But people feel little uneasy. Anybody can say why they feel uneasy. To tell one of the member of the team to take lead and they sit behind and hear. Why people feel uneasy? You can give one mic here, 2 mics we can have. Only one is there, huh? Any of you want to try? Yeah. Oh, actually, 16 under, no? We should give chance to the new. Oh, another mic you give to Mata this side. One mic can be here.
Because of ego?
Because of ego, you are right. That's true. A person feels that if I have to take advice from one of my team members who is subordinate to me, they are all working under me, why should I take advice? Actually, Lord Krishna also consulted Uddhava. Do you know that? When Krishna got 2 invitations, one came from Yudhishthira Maharaj for Rajsu Yajna. Another invitation came from the kings in Jarasandha's jail. They both invitations came at the same time. So Krishna thought what to do, which one I should do now. So he consulted Uddhava. So if Krishna is consulting Uddhava, why not we consult? Nothing goes wrong by consulting. You can always consult experienced people. So therefore, Angada decided that we will take help of Jambavan. And Jambavan, when he came, see, Jambavan said that, Jambavan asked, okay, all of you tell me, each of you Vanaras, how much can you jump? One of them said, like there was Mahinda, there was Neela, that these two actually were civil engineers. They were very expert in building bridges. So they said, actually, I can jump 50 yojana. Somebody said 60, somebody said 70, somebody said 90. And some of them said, maybe I can jump 100, but I cannot come back. I will stay there only. Then what's the use of jumping? When Angada said, maybe I think I only have to go now, he said, I am ready to jump myself. At that time, Jambavan told him, you see, leader should not accomplish the task himself alone. He should rather delegate it by giving chance to the other members, like that he says. And also he said, if you are our leader, if you get lost by going to Lanka, what will happen to other Vanras? They will all get disoriented. So you should be here and you give opportunity to other Vanaras. And then you watch by sitting back and guiding other people also, like that he said. Then Angada agreed, okay, I will not go ahead. You see, in the war, sometimes Yudhishthira Maharaja had to be kept behind. In the Mahabharata war also. Sometimes he may take the lead in the front. But whatever is conducive for winning, they will do. Jointly, they will come together, decide and do. So here Jambavan advised him to stay back and not go. He told other monkeys can go. Then everybody was discussing who can go amongst us. Then Jambavan said, there is one monkey amongst us who is very humble. He is not speaking up. But I know how strong he is. Who was that? Hanuman. Yeah. Respect elder members of your team. Yeah. So, at that time, Jambavan told Hanuman, actually, Jambavan said, during the Samudra Manthan Leela, it was me who brought all the medicinal herbs and put them in that ocean. At that time, when Mandara Parvat was used for churning, as a churning rod to churn the milk, I could rotate around the churning rod 1,000 times and come back. Like that, I could go and come. That was his power. He said, I can circumambulate Meru Parvat 1,000 times and come. But now I am old, he said. At the same time, I know this great personality, Hanuman. He said, I am very confident that he will accomplish this task. And he started praising Hanuman's valor, how great Hanuman is. You can see the picture. As he appreciated Hanuman, what is happening to Hanuman? His size is increasing, you say. That means when you appreciate people, they get encouraged and they get empowered also. So here you find Jambavan's appreciation is encouraging Hanuman. Hanuman had one very special blessing, that he will not remember his own greatness unless somebody reminds him. So how wonderful boon it is, because we generally, if we can do something, we tend to become proud. But Hanuman was having a blessing that you will forget it. So if you forget, you can't be proud also, because you don't know you have it unless somebody reminds you. So Jambavan reminded him about what all Hanuman did as his childhood prowess, and then now he is grown up now and he can do many more things. He'll definitely be able to find Cheetah. So we learn one very important lesson. If you are older in age, then you should encourage the younger ones and let them do great things and you clap hands. And when you are young, then you may yourself do. So what is the sign of a mature devotee or a mature leader? So he can actually, there are two types of leaders. There is a leader and servant leader. Krishna is a servant leader, not an ordinary leader. Servant leader means what? He is an advisor and Arjuna is an actor. Correct, no? So he makes Arjuna do great things and Krishna claps hands. Well done, Arjuna. Well done. Sabash. He does that. A servant leader is one who makes every member in his team into a leader, makes them do great things and applauds at their success and delights in their success by remaining in the background. So then what does he do then? His main service is to empower the members of his team by equipping them with the necessary talent, but advising them in difficult situations and throwing them in the water to see them swim. And when they cannot swim, he gives a helping hand. That is actually a servant leader. So, Krishna says in one verse in Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat pamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham mayaiva yete nihita purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin. Arjuna, two things he tells Arjuna. Tasmatma uttishta, get up. Yasho labhasva, fight this battle and take the credit of winning the battle, he is saying. But although you will be given the glory that you won the battle, I will help you to win the battle. But who will take the credit? You. Arjuna can take it. But who will help him win the battle? Krishna. Mayaiva yete nihitaha purvameva. All these warriors like Duryodhana, Dushasana and all this, Jayadratha. If you don't believe in what I am saying, I have already killed all of them before in the form of Kala, time. In the Kala Rupa, I will show you. He said, and then Krishna showed first Vishwarupa, then he showed Kala Rupa. In the Kala Rupa, the mouths were emanating fire. And also the teeth were crushing the skulls of the soldiers. And there Arjuna saw Jayadratha was entering into Lord's mouth. Duryodhana was entering, Dushasana was entering one by one. And Arjuna was trembling, seeing that. And not only the teeth were crushing, when the blood would come out, tongues would come out. Like that. It was not like a picture. So, you can see how horrible sight it was, and fire was coming from the mouth. Krishna said, this is my Kala Rupa, in which, that means what I am showing you now is eventually going to happen, which you will see, and you can become an instrument in my hands. Mayaiva yete, Maya eva means by me. They have been already killed. Nihitaha means they are killed. Purvameva, previously only. Then you may ask, then what is Arjuna doing then? Arjuna is simply beating a dead snake, that's all. In villages, sometimes a person beats the real snake, and after the real snake is killed, then children may come and beat the dead snake. That's what he told Arjuna. I have already done the job, don't worry. Now you have to just become an instrument. Actually, in our village, where one time snake came in our compound. So all of us ran to our house and jumped on the top of the table. So, snake cannot climb on the table, isn't it? But then one of our friends shouted, he said, hey, snake is dead. Somebody took iron rod and hit the head of the snake. The snake twisted this way, that way, and then died, passed away. Then all of us ran with our sticks. Then, because now the snake is dead now, you can beat the snake. So we beat the snake. And then next day we went to school and said, we killed the snake, we told them. So Arjuna was told like that by Krishna. So you take the credit that you have killed all these soldiers. I don't want the credit. How many of you feel it's difficult to give that credit like this? Correct? No, because you do the job and credit goes to another. Krishna is ready for that. Not only that, Tasmat pamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam. This is the second thing. Bhungshvarajyam samriddham, you enjoy an unrivaled kingdom, he is saying. That means you take the kingdom, Arjun, and you be the king. And you also take the credit for having defeated all these people in the battle. So Krishna is not a grab credit Lord. He is a give credit Lord. That's what makes him very special. How many of you know how Jarasandha was killed? Anybody knows? Who killed Jarasandha? Any of you know? Oh, yeah. I want a new voice to answer. Those who are coming first time. Yeah, yes? Bhim, yeah. Bhima. But how many of you know that Bhima had difficulty in killing Jarasandha for one reason? Anybody knows? Yeah, you know it? Yes. I give the mic to him. Why? What was the difficulty?
Can I speak in Hindi? I'm more comfortable.
In Kannada, is it?
Hindi.
Hindi chalega.
कारण ये था कि जब जयद्रथ के शरीर के 2 टुकड़े करने थे और अगर दोनों को अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में ना फेंका गया तो उसकी मृत्यु संभव नहीं थी.
Correct. Yeah. If you cut the body, you would tear his body, catching one leg down. Again, the body would get attached like this. Again and again, repeatedly. So who gave the idea to Bhima that you should put the body like this? Krishna gave the idea. So, at last Bhima, and they both fought for some 28 days or something. After that, when Bhima got this one clue, instantly finished him, Jarasandha. But when they were coming back to the palace, Krishna told Bhima that, see, your brother is waiting outside the palace, Yudhishthir. So he told Bhima to get down the chariot and you go in the front. He pushed him in the front. So Bhima friend went. So Yudhishthira asked him, "Oh, brother Bhima, what happened to Jarasandha?" He said. And Bhima said, "Jarasandha is finished, defeated. Huh? We have killed him." Immediately, Yudhishthira embraced Bhima. Sabash! He said, "Dear Bhima, anybody comes in your grip, they can never escape. I have never seen anyone as smart as you. Now you have courageously killed Jarasandha and come back. Well done." Then Krishna told Arjuna to go. And then Bhima said, "Arjuna also accompanied me," he said. Then Yudhishthira gave him another sabash. Well done, both of you went together. Very nice. And then lastly, Krishna got off from the chariot. And Krishna didn't speak one word to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Krishna giving credit to Bhima. Immediately, instantly, my affection for Krishna shot up. Immediately. What kind of personality it is? In this world, people are so much mad after grabbing the credit. Like you see, in one time, in one of the projects, my spiritual master went. Hardly he will visit such preaching centers. He visited. So there Maharaj saw the bathroom lavatories were spick and span, neatly cleaned. Some men, atta strong men, had cleaned up the bathroom latrine the previous day night. Maharaj is coming to clean. Maharaj, when he came out of the washroom, he said, "Oh, these washrooms are so neat and clean. They look like a kitchen. You can actually practically sit there inside. It looks like that's so neat." And some 4-5 Matajis were standing there. "Thank you, Maharaj," they were saying. So those men became wild. They said, "We did the service, and who took the credit? Maharaj took the credit." So they were all fuming. They went to their leader and said, "Prabhuji, please, Maharaj, somebody has to tell the truth to Maharaj, that we only cleaned. Kindly you take us to Maharaj and introduce us by our names, that we are the ones who did." He said, wait a minute. When there is chance, I will do that." And then Maharaj came to the prasadam table. Maharaj will generally come and touch and see whether it is hot. Prasadam is hot. So he saw the dal, sabji, everything. It was all hot. And then he saw the plates there. And Matajis were actually serving. At that time. Of course, Prabhuji is serving, and Matajis, when Maharaj came from the bathroom, he came here and he saw the plates and said, "Wow, these plates are shining. I can see my face. So neatly washed," Maharaj said. It was a Monday. The previous day, Sunday, was a Sunday feast program. It was all oily plates. When Maharaj saw the plate and said, "Who has washed them so neat and clean? So nice," Maharaj said. Then Prabhuji said, "Thank you, Maharaj," they said. And Matajis became very angry. Why Matajis became angry? Because they only cleaned the plates. They said, "Yesterday we put it in soap water, we later on washed it in hot water, and we dried the plates and stacked it well, and we kept it." And Maharaj is asking, "Who did it?" And these fellows are saying, "Thank you." Then the leader of the Matajis said, "I will not leave this. I will ask this question to Maharaj in the class," she said. The Maharaj gave a class. After the class is over, question answer session came. So one Mataji asked Maharaj, "Maharaj, in this world, one group of people do the service and other group of people take away the credit. Why does it happen like that?" She asked. Indirectly she asked. And Maharaj instantly answered, he said, "Maybe in the previous life they must have grabbed the credit. Therefore they lost the credit now." And all the Prabhujis had a good laughter also. So we are living in a world where everybody is in which mode? Grab credit mode. Nobody is in a... So but Vedas teach giving culture, not grabbing culture. Vedas means give. Because you can see Krishna's creation. Like we say, Paropakaraya palanti vriksha, paropakaraya duhanti gava, paropakaraya vahanti nadya, paropakaraya idam shariram. The river is giving water, the mango trees are giving mangoes, the cows are giving milk, they're all giving free. None of them is charging you. Some human being comes in between and asks for charges. Otherwise, these creatures are all God's creation. They give everything free. And God's love for us becomes evident when we see these things. So, one has to, therefore you will see, because God's heart is very magnanimous, those who are followers of God, they can also have a magnanimous heart. Like here you see Jambavan, he is capable, but he wants to give a chance to some younger one, Hanuman. And not only he is saying, okay, let him take the credit, I am going home now, I am not going to be. He doesn't say that. I will be a part of the team and I will praise him, appreciate him, guide him, and make him achieve success. Let he get the blessing of Rama, then I will clap hands. So this is actually servant leader. So Krishna is a servant leader, Rama is a servant leader, and great devotees are servant leaders also. So servant leader is one who can make many leaders. Therefore it is said a leader is, see, a boss has a title on the door and he has no people. But leader is one who has people. It is said. Simply having the name boss is useless unless you have people to assist you, isn't it? And who will have people to assist you? You will only have people to assist you provided you empower them to do great things. Because everybody in this world wants to bring out their potential. So imagine if there is a good leader to whom you go and he brings a great hero out of you or heroine out of you. Something he makes you do great things. How many of you want to go to such a leader? Correct? If they can bring out the inner potential unknown to you. So that is what your Jambavan is doing, is bringing out the inner potential of Hanuman. And which was hidden. So he's appreciating, whatever you appreciate, appreciates. That's a proverb in English. Whatever you appreciate, appreciates. You know what is the meaning of that? In accounting, chartered accountants know the term appreciates. You can say whatever appreciate means if you appreciate some good quality in a person, that good quality expands more, like that. So here Jambavan is appreciating Hanuman here. Hanuman is growing in size now. Yeah, see, glorification empowers. Empower by encouragement. Glorification strengthens and encourages. And fault finding disempowers and weakens determination and discourages, you see. Yeah. I heard a story. Once two frogs, somehow they fell into a deep well. And all the other frogs were staying from the top around. They were seeing, they were shouting, "You foolish fellows. From here you fell into the well. Now you are gone now. You'll never be able to come out." Like that, all these frogs were cursing, shouting at those two frogs. And hearing their curses and shouts, one of the frogs became completely discouraged. He thought he is going to die inside the well only. He has no hope. And both were jumping, trying to come out. Little they were jumping, trying to come out. So one of them could jump out and come. Then all the other frogs wanted to know how this fellow could come out, despite being criticized so badly. Then they came to know the dog had a hearing problem. So he didn't hear the criticism, isn't it? So all of you also, in your life, if somebody is criticizing you and insulting you, keep a long distance from them. And hear from those who are interested in uplifting you. In this world, you get uplifting association. You get degrading association. You get neutral association. Then the fourth category are people with whom you never come in contact in this world. You see them from a distance and you don't contact them. It's the fourth category. Everybody has four people around you. Anyway, somebody is far away from you, you never contact them, no need to worry about them. And somebody is neutral with you, then no need to worry. And somebody is uplifting you, it's very wonderful. But somebody is discouraging you, keep a long distance. Of course, the teachers and parents can scold you and give you feedback if it is for your ultimate good. That is also considered uplifting. Because you know their good heart. That is perfect. But discouraging person means actually one who is critical of you, ridicules you, mocks at you, and he always brings bad news. Like, some students come and say, "How many units are over?" We say, "2 are over." "Hey, he has finished 8 units. Now you are gaya bhi. Next week of exam, you can't make it." So don't associate with such people. So, yeah. Now Hanuman, see, he grew up in size and told all the Vanaras, "My dear friends, thanks to Jambavan ji, who has inspired me, appreciated me, and offered me an opportunity. As per the desire of Jambavan and our team leader Angada, I am ready to go to Lanka." And he said, some of you may not be aware, probably, he said, I also can, when Vaman Dev came in this world, and he grew very, of course, this Vaman Dev example was given by Jambavan, when Vamadev grew very big to sky, at the time Jambavan went around him 1,000 times. But Hanuman also said he can also go around the Meru Parvat 1,000 times, similar to Jambavan. He had the ability, Hanuman also. And Hanuman said, if I go to Lanka, I don't find Sita, I will dig the whole Lanka and bring it back, he said. All the monkeys said, die, 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 die. Everybody clapped hands. See, all of them are raising hands saying. And one monkey said, Hanuman, enough of your boastful speech. Kuch karke bhi dikhao. Huh? You have to prove something by doing actions also. Of course, amongst the monkeys, they're joking with each other. Amongst friends, you can joke like that. Huh? So then the monkey said, in order to speed up the task of finding Sita, we will stand on one leg, all of us. So have some pity on us that we are all standing on one leg till you come back. So quickly go and come back, they said. Now Hanuman is going to take a great jump. Let us see what he did. So before you start any project in your life, you should seek good wishes from great souls. This is the Mahendra Parvat which Hanuman is climbing now. After he climbed the top of the mountain, he folded his palm and prayed to many great personalities. One is Surya Dev, who is a spiritual master. He prayed to Vayu, his father. He prayed to Indra, the leader of Devatas. He prayed to Brahma, who is a chief amongst all the Devatas. Then he prayed to also Lord Ram, the Lord of his life. He prayed to all of them, please bless me, please empower me. This is a very difficult task to go to Lanka and find out in the midst of Rakshasas where is Sita. By your blessing only I'll be able to do. So what is a blessing? It is a difference between your power and God's power. That is called blessing. So God's power minus your power is blessing. Our power is very tiny. God's power is like infinity. So 1 plus infinity is infinity. So when you get the infinite blessings of God upon you, then you can do humanly impossible tasks. For example, imagine there's a Luna going, there's a Benz, there's a Maruti going, and there's a Benz going. You keep a competition between these three, say from here to Secunderabad, you keep. Sorry, not Secunderabad, from Bangalore to Mysore, you keep it. So which one will come first? Benz. Second, Maruti. Third, Luna. But imagine on the way, if a helicopter comes and lifts the Luna, which will come first? That's it. So that's why the blessing is like that. Blessing can uplift us. Even there is one field, scientific field called as psychometry. Psychometry, you give your kerchief to them, they can immediately tell you what type of person you are. Your pen, your kerchief, your chapel, items that you use. Simply based on those items, your handwriting also. They can see and they can tell you what are your characteristics. The field of psychometry, the items used, you have an aura around you. Based on the aura, they find out. Similarly, in Pune, there is one Sujata Vaidya madam working in the MIT college in Pune. She has a camera in which she can capture your gunas also. If you are a saintly soul, then there is a yellow aura around you. If you are a passionate person, there is a red aura. If there is a ignorant person, smoking, drinking, there is a black aura. And she has taken aura of many, many people actually. She showed also. She's a professor. So, now why I was telling you this, all of us emanate a certain type of, aura, and we also have certain type of natures we have. So when you bow down to your grandfather, grandmother, mother, father and touch their feet, immediately what happens? A kind of feeling swells in their heart, good wishes, good feelings, goodwill, favorable feelings, compassionate feelings towards you. And they wish in their mind that may this child flourish. And that comes and envelops you. This is a scientific explanation of blessing. This is how modern day people will understand. Otherwise, if we say, offer obeisance, they will say, why should people ask like that? They keep their nose like anti-aircraft gun, isn't it? So, Hanuman here is, offering prayers. Prayers to now you will see this. You can see here. See here. Don't start anything without blessing of great souls. He's praying. Now he's taking a leap, a great leap. Yeah. and he became an ideal instrument in Lord's hands. So in Ramayana, there is one particular verse which says that Hanuman leapt into the sky exactly like Ramaban, it says. And it is a very beautiful verse. Why? Because Rama's band comes from Rama's Dhanush. Correct, no? That means Hanuman became a perfect instrument in the hands of Ram. That's the point. So he sprang into the air. And Vayudev saw that sun is very hot. Poor son, my dear Hanuman is flying, so Vayu also arranged for the wind to be blown. And he was passing through the clouds. On the way, he saw a mountain called Mainaka. The Mainaka mountain said, Hanuman, you are going on a very great job. It's very wonderful. Maybe you should relax a while and then proceed with your journey. Hanuman said, not now. Unless my goal is accomplished, I will not rest. So this requires a lot of inner conviction. As soon as there is an opportunity for little bit relaxation, we tend to relax. Sometimes people say in the afternoon, I'm going to take a power nap. Power nap is supposed to be like 5 to 10 minutes, not 50 minutes to 1 hour. So the name of, actually, doctors found that if you lie down 10 minutes and stretch your hands and legs in the afternoon time and get up, you become actually brisk. You become more stronger. Similarly, if you're working in a computer, every 1 hour you take 2-3 minutes out and see the green grass or the blue sky, and again sit in the computer, your energy level certainly increases. There is no doubt about that. But in the name of power nap, most people sleep, they snore for 3 hours. Correct, no? But Hanuman was not even ready for the power nap. He said, I'm already powerful. Nap now, no need of any power nap. He said, this is no time to rest. You see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha namasyantascha namam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. He is saying, my devotees always endeavor by doing bhakti yoga, but with dridhavrata, with determination. We should, just like, for example, if you are going to go from Bangalore to Melikotai, for example, what is the first thing? You should have enough desire to go to Melikotai. It's a very holy place. It's a place of Sripad Ramanujacharya and many great Vaishnavas. So if your friends are calling somebody, sometime you may go, sometime you may not go, isn't it? But if you have to go, the desire is required, then only you will take the initiative to go. Correct, no? So before you begin any work, what is the most difficult thing? To take initiative. Na karmanam anarambhan na ishkarmyam purushoshnute. Krishna says that. He's saying that by not beginning a work and being lethargic, you don't achieve anything in this world. How many of you wanted to do some wonderful thing, but you are waiting for the muhurta to come? Correct, na? You have many wonderful plans, but you are thinking, let that good time come, and never comes generally, unless you take initiative. Correct, no? I remember last year, during pandemic time, I wanted to do one difficult task, but I was very much keen that I will do it somehow. That was to speak on the whole Bhagavad Gita in 108 sittings, just 30 minutes each. It's called Gita Amrita Bindu. So I asked some devotees, which is the best day to start? They told me, start on Akshaya Tritiya day. Because any business started on Akshaya Tritiya day will never collapse. Until it ends. So I started on Akshaya Tritiya day, exactly 108 days I finished the Gita fully. And every day I worked about 7 hours a day making PowerPoints. And then daytime I'll make the PowerPoint, evening I'll speak. Any meeting, phone calls, email, I said, push everything aside. This is the only thing, like a horse. Put this, what do you call that? Blinder. That's what I did. Then that work could be done. If you want to do anything good, we need first thing we need is you have to take initiative. And the second thing we need is what? After you sit in the car, you become prepared to go. Then you have to press the accelerator. Softly or strongly? If you have to go fast, which one you should do? Strongly. And if you relax it, then speed will slow. So then intensity is required. If you started a work, you should do it. And then after you go ahead, on the way, there are going to be distractions also. You should not get distracted this way, that left, right. Imagine you park the car on the side and you go to sleep, you lose time. Isn't it? Or you may be allured by some attractive things on the way. Or you may change your mind. Instead of going to Melikotai, you may go to some other place. Correct, no? So therefore you will find, begin the work, persistently endeavor, and don't get distracted. 3 things Krishna says. I have 3 verses in Gita, I can tell you. Na karmana manarambha, that is the taking initiative verse. And yatantasya dridhavrata is the determined effort, persistent effort when you are proceeding ahead. And then, what that was? Sarishchayena yoktavyo yogo anirvinna chetasa sankalpa prabhavan kamam styaktva sarvan asheshatah. Anirvinna chetasa means undistracted, endeavor. There's no other distraction. Like if you take a lens and you focus it at a focal point, can burn the paper. But you're shaking the lens like this. Can you focus? Can it burn? No. So don't shake the mind. Don't get distracted, because distractions actually shake the mind. Without any distraction, be focused, be concentrated, be pinpointed. So that's the third thing. So take initiative, make persistent efforts, be focused and not get distracted. Then you'll attain the goal. That's what is Hanuman. You see, Hanuman is taking initiative. He is telling Angada, hey, don't be lethargic. Get up. If you don't get up, then we will discuss. So Hanuman has taken initiative now. And on the way, he is persistent. Correct, no? He's getting a chance to relax. Is he relaxing? No. So people who are actually winners, those who do great things in life, they make very, very persistent efforts. Anything they do it well. See, time is short. Goal is yet to be achieved. Never accept comforts that dampen your enthusiasm. So he crossed the Mainaka mountain and went ahead. Of course, he didn't speak arrogantly. He told the Mainaka mountain, thank you. You are giving me an opportunity to relax, but not now. Maybe after I finish the task, we will see, but not now. And he went ahead. And then he came across another big snake. Her name was Surasa. She shouted at Hanuman and said, hey, monkey, nobody goes to Lanka without first entering into my mouth. Hanuman said, really? If I enter into your mouth and if you eat me up, then what? She said, yes, that's the point. Anybody comes this way, I eat them up and nobody goes ahead to Lanka. Because I am assisting Ravana in not letting anyone come to Lanka. And Hanuman thought what to do with this lady. So then he became very humble. He folded his palms and said, oh great madam, allow me to go to Lanka, search Sita, go back and give information to Ram, and then I will come back and go into your mouth. And you can eat me up, I don't mind, he said. Very humbly he spoke. But his humility did not work. She said, no. Don't give me all these excuses. You cannot proceed, she said. Now Hanuman became angry. All of you experience of this. First you try to become humble, and if it doesn't work, what do? You become angry. Isn't it? So you got angry now. What? You won't let me do what I am saying? You don't know who I am. I'll show you who I am. Then Hanuman grew in size. You will see now. So he clarified his goals to the impediment posers. So even a hard-hearted person becomes soft in desi humility. But Surasa was not humble enough. Then Hanuman grew up. Now you will see now. She's open with Hanuman will grow up, and she also grew her mouth. See here? He grew up and she also opened her mouth very big. See, Hanuman became small. And he jumped in and jumped out. By the time she closed the mouth, Hanuman came out. Hanuman said, what do you say now? The condition is fulfilled. But for Hanuman to go inside her mouth and come out, he did one thing. What he did? He became small. In this world, this is a great secret. If you can be humble, you can save so much energy, time, quarrel, many things in this world. In Delhi, one of our devotees was telling, he came out of a housing colony in his car. He had to go for some program very fastly. Zoom, like that he came. And already in the main road, many cars are going very fast. So when he went like this, 2 cars are about to crash. They came very near, only 2 inches distance was there. So both of them put a sudden brake. And that fast fellow also put a sudden brake. That fellow looked at this fellow. Naturally, he became wild. And that fellow shouted, Akal like that he shouted. Then this devotee, he just folded his palms like this. Whether he just bowed. He just, because he understood mistake was his. He's coming from a colony very fastly outside. Then when the devotee lifted his head, he didn't find the car, he didn't find the driver. They were gone already. Why they were gone? Because that fellow thought there's no point fighting with a humble fellow. Because for fighting, 2 hands are required, no? Then only sound comes. One hand wants to fight, one hand went away. Where is sound? Huh? That's what Hanuman did. He became small. He became tiny because he wanted to save time. Not unnecessarily keep becoming bigger. Where is the end to the ego? I show my ego, you show your ego. There is no end. So he understood that this ego, when you go on an ego trip many times, that is the most toughest ground. For example, you had an ego tussle with one of your friends 1 week ago. 1 week later, you ask him for his notes, he will not give you. He will tell you some other reason he will tell you. He will not give you. Because the old ego trip, he still remembers. You will see that. Therefore, we should find out a smoother way of working with people and not get into ego trips. So that was Hanuman's intelligence. He understood, I will not become big, I will become small, go inside and come out. That's what he did very smartly. So then he could proceed. Then Surasa told him, now you can go. Therefore, Hanuman is very dear to Lord Ram because of his. This is another, there is one more demon, Simhika. She was actually catching the shadow of Hanuman. And Hanuman was flying. Hanuman was wondering why I am not able to progress further. He was trying to fly, but she was catching the shadow. Then he looked down and he saw this demoness. He understood that she represents envy, terrible envy. Because people who are envious of somebody, para utkarsha asahanam, it is said. The progress of others, these people cannot digest. That is the meaning of envy. Like one time a thief broke into a house and he switched on the lights and he showed a sharp knife to husband and wife. They both started trembling. Maybe this fellow is going to kill us. The thief told the lady, remove that necklace. So she removed the necklace and gave it. The thief said, good. Since you have given me the necklace, I will not harm both of you. I am going now. But if you scream, calling the police, again I will come back and stab both of you, he said. They both said, we will not shout, don't worry, we will keep mum. The thief was just about to go. The lady said, wait a minute. The neighborhood lady and me, we both purchased the same type of necklace. Yeah. Since you have taken from you, better take from her also. Otherwise tomorrow, she can show off, I can't show off. As it said. So this is called the envy, we call it. Envy means what? You cannot tolerate others flourish. Like, there were 2 boys coming from my hometown in those days. So one boy failed in mathematics. One boy failed in mathematics. We were actually having 80, 90 boys in the class. He is in this corner and the other boy is in that corner. As soon as he saw the fail marks in maths, he pushed through the crowd and ran to his friend and said, hey, what happened to maths? You passed or failed? He said. His friend said, I fail again. Fail again, very good. I fail, you fail, both fail. Very good. So these people delight in the failure of others. Just see. So this kind of demoness, how to tackle? Hanuman, she swallowed Hanuman. Hanuman tore that creature and came out like you see here. The envy in our heart has to be torn to pieces. There is no possibility of pacifying it. We have to tear it into pieces. We should never feel envious. Why? Because ultimately, see, everybody is getting what they deserve based on their purva janma punya or pap. Correct, no? Purva janma arjita punyam agre davati davati. Somebody is handsome. Somebody is educated. Somebody is millionaire. Somebody is healthy. Somebody gets nice food to eat. Are born to good parents. So these are all punya manifesting in the next life. Or somebody is ugly looking, like ugly duckling. And somebody is illiterate. Somebody is poverty stricken. Somebody's body is diseased. And somebody eats only once in 3 days and they don't have any food to eat. Some people eat once in 3 days, some people eat 3 times in 1 day. Just see this world. Everybody gets according to that punya and pap accordingly. So if somebody is flourishing in life, becoming very popular, fame is also one of the 6 opulences, you know that? He's getting fame because maybe he's carrying some punya from the previous life. Somebody is intelligent, comes from the previous lives. So why should we envy? You do your homework and you can also get, instead of looking at somebody who is possessing and then burning in the heart. So then Hanuman, Envy chokes progress. It makes us lose strength and it has to be destroyed. At last, Hanuman landed in Lanka. So when he landed in the shore of Lanka, one amazing feeling he got, you see. Despite struggling against anarthas, devotional service is never tiring when it is performed in right consciousness for the pleasure of the Lord. So when Hanuman reached Lanka, he never felt tired at all, even after having flown such a distance. He was fresh like a morning blossomed flower. He was fresh in consciousness. The reason for his freshness is, if you are always carrying Lord in your heart, and if you are always carrying the names of the Lord in your lips, chanting the holy names, you will always be ever fresh. Because the nature of bhakti is susukam kartum avayam. It is joyfully performed. So he knows, Hanuman knows. If you ask Hanuman, hey, who are you? He will say, I am Ramadut. You ask him, what do you do? He will say, I will only do Ram's work. How do you do? I do it diligently, very committedly, dedicatedly, with full responsibility, putting my best of efforts. I'll put my sweat and toil and do this, Ram's work. And what will you do with the results of your work? I will hand it all over back to Ram. Because Ram gave me the brain, Ram gave me the facilities and everything. This is Hanuman. So now Hanuman is entering Lanka. So you learn so many things from Hanuman, dealing with the Lord of his life, Ram, dealing with the abode of love, Mother Sita. After he reaches Lanka, you will read about that. Dealing with superiors such as Surya, Indra, Vayu and all with great respect and namaskar. Dealing with Jambavan respectfully. Dealing with the team leader Angada. He never insults Angada at all. He only persuades Angada politely, knowing that he is the leader of the team. And dealing with friendly new people like comfort providers like Swayam Prabha and Mainaka and all, politely refuse to accept the comfort. Dealing with friends in a jovial mood. And also he had prowess without pride. That is Hanuman. He has devotion with dexterity. Why dexterity is used? Because when he reached Lanka, he was in the treetop, but he couldn't come down because Rakshasis were awake when Mother Sita was sitting. So he was waiting for the Rakshasis to go to sleep. But the problem is Rakshasis will sleep only when the sun rises. The night, Nishachara, they will be awake at night. So he was waiting. So at that time, Ravana came in the early morning hours, spoke very strongly to Sita, harshly. He told her, in 3 months, if you don't tell me whether you'll oblige or not, I will cook a breakfast and eat you up. Like that he said. So Sita cried loudly. And after Ravana went back, he had come with 100 girls carrying lamps, and they all went back. After that, Sita was crying. So all the Rakshasis were going round and round Sita and said, hey, foolish Sita, if I was in your place, I would have immediately married Ravana and become a great queen. How foolish you are, not accepting this opportunity. So even before Ravana eats, we will cook you and eat you up. So one Rakshasi said, yeah, I want to eat the succulent cheeks of Sita, she said. Another Rakshasi said, I want to eat the succulent thighs of Sita. And they were all laughing and joking about Sita like this. Sita cried out loudly. And Sita decided to commit suicide. She wanted to put the rope in the tree branch and commit suicide. And Hanuman was shocked. If she puts a rope around her neck and she dies, what will I go and tell Ram? Can I go and give the news to Ram that Sita has died? If I say that, Ram will die. If Ram dies, Lakshman will die. If Lakshman dies, Sugriva will die. And all monkeys will die. Then I will also die. Hanuman thought, what is to be done? He was shocked. At that time, he got an idea. He started singing a beautiful song about Ram. That's for devotion with dexterity. He performed devotion with great intelligence. Dealing with anarthas of the mind like depression, anger, and etc., Hanuman did very well. Dealing with dangerous, unexpected situations like our Indrajit catching Hanuman. Dealing with enemies like Langini. As soon as he entered Lanka, this Langini stopped him, and she was attacking Hanuman that you cannot enter Lanka, you tiny monkey. Hanuman said, see, I am a very tiny creature. I have just come to see the beauty of Lanka. I will go away the same way I came in. She said, nothing doing. I know many types of fellows like you come here. You are in disguise. I don't know who you are, but I will not spare you. I will kill you right now. So and Hanuman thought that she's a female, how I can attack her? like attacking a man. It's improper. So with the left hand, he gave a big slap. Like this, he gave a slap to her. Next moment, she fell down to the ground. And she said, there is a prophecy that a Vanara will come to Lanka and hit my cheeks with a left slap. And that is the beginning of the end of Ravana. She said, now it is proven now. So monkey, I give you freedom, you can go in, she said. Then Hanuman started going in after that. Hanuman went from one house top to another house top jumping, and he would peep on the windows to see who is inside. So many houses he saw, many ladies were decorating themselves to receive their husbands in the evening. And some places, husbands were sitting and they were feeding food, prasad food. And they were all, of course, not prasad, they were eating all kinds of flesh and liquor and everything, all kinds of things they were taking, Rakshasas and Rakshasis. He was going to different houses and became late at night. And he went to the Ravana's palace. In Ravana's palace, from the top, there was a hole where Pushpaviman was kept. From there, he saw down. Ravana was lying like this in the bed. On either side, there were so many beauties, celestial beauties whom he had brought. And they were all spotless beauties. One couldn't find one blemish in their bodies. They were all beautiful women from different parts of the universe he had brought. And some Devakanya, some Brahman Putris, different women like that. And he was keeping them well by giving them facility, amenities, everything. It seemed that they had drunken barrels of liquor and eaten flesh. And they were all scattered, and there was some ladies are carrying the Tanpura, Veena kind of thing. Some are carrying jal in the hand. They must have danced and sung and drunk liquor and gone to sleep. Hanuman was seeing from the top. Hanuman was looking at everybody. And then suddenly Hanuman saw one lady was sleeping separately in another place, crystal bed separately. And Hanuman became very joyful. That must be Sita. She looks very effulgent and attractive, different from all this. And then he understood that cannot be Sita. How will Sita be sleeping inside the palace? It's impossible. She must be in another place. So then he asked himself, Hanuman is actually a brahmachari, isn't it? He asked, how am I looking at all the women? Is it not improper? Then he thought very deeply, although I looked at all of them, I had not even an iota of desire to enjoy them. Why? He said, because my mind is focused on the mission of the Lord. And then he says, because amongst them, whom am I searching? Sita. My heart is fixed in the form of Sita, who is my divine mother. Because I am searching for her by becoming a representative of Supreme Lord Rama. My mind is undisturbed and pure. So he ascertained his purity. And then again he went up to the top of the palace like what you're seeing here. And he cried there. He sat and wept loudly. He himself became depressed at that time, not able to find, because I couldn't find Sita anywhere. Now how will I go and show my face to Ram? Is there any other way? And at that time he thought, whenever you feel depressed or morose, only one thing you should do. Where's the mridanga? Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram 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 Shri Ram Ram, Jai Ram. So he was singing like this. In that singing, he found a great delight, happiness permeating his heart. And suddenly one idea popped up in his heart. What is that? Why should Sita only be inside the palace? She can also be outside. And this idea was supplied by Lord Ram in his heart. Because when you chant the holy name, two things happens. Your unwanted depression, moroseness, your directionlessness, hopelessness, these are all cleared. And another thing that happens is Lord in your heart is inspired to supply you ideas on how you can find a ray of hope in your life. So then he stopped the kirtan and he looked around in the moonlit night. And there he found one waterfalls was falling from a mountain. And it was falling and falling in a lake. In front of that lake, he found a 1,000-pillar mandapam. So just outside the mandapam, he found there was a big banyan tree. And under that banyan tree, there was a elevated stage on which one lady was sitting. And Hanuman very intently watched. She was dressed in yellow saree with long flowing hair. Her face was like a full moon. Eyes were like lotus petals. And she had a resemblance of Lord Ram. And as soon as Hanuman saw her, immediately he could understand this is only Sita. Another Sita, he found out. So, see, when he saw the different women, he said it's the motive that determines whether an act is virtuous or sinful. So Hanuman had a pure motive in watching those women or an impure motive? Yeah. So he had a pure motive because he was only looking for Sita amongst them. And then he comes back to India after meeting Sita. That's a very long pastime I have not mentioned here. But he spoke to Mother Sita and he gave her the ring and Sita gave him the Chudamani to give back to Ram. All those pastimes, it's very elaborate pastime. He comes back to India now after hearing all that. And all the monkeys were standing on one leg. Now they all became very happy. They started dancing happily. And the monkeys lifted up Hanuman over their shoulders and they are waving clothes. And when they saw Hanuman descending and they praised Hanuman. See, Hanuman, as soon as he returned back, the first thing, what he did? He offered namaskar to Jambavan and then to the Prince Angada. What does it show? What does it show? That shows that he is not proud of his achievements. He knows Jambavan empowered me to do this task, so I should give him the due credit. So he offered obeisance to Jambavan. Angada is the leader of the team. So he submissively presented to him what he has found. He offered namaskar to both of them. And all the Vanaras expressed their joy and celebrated without reservation. Hearing that Sita is still alive, the monkeys became overjoyed and embraced Hanuman again and again. Sabash Hanuman, well done, Hanuman. See, if somebody does some great thing amongst your friends, you should rejoice it or become envious. Rejoice it. That's the meaning of a friend. Friend should feel delighted. One time I was talking to some boys. I told them that, you see, if your brother got into IIT, you got all study materials for him, for IIT JEE. And you couldn't get in IIT, you tried, you couldn't, but your brother got it. How many of you will feel happy, I asked. So almost all boys raised hand. One boy wasn't raising hand. I asked him, why you are not raising hand? He said, no, I will feel very bad. I couldn't get in, how can he get in? Yeah. That means even with brother also people feel envious sometimes. Correct, no? Even with blood brother also, you can see that. But truly speaking, devotees of the Lord never feel envious. They feel that somebody is empowered by the Lord. They join, everybody joins in glorifying. Jai, Jai. Like this Vanaras, non-envious. They are embracing Hanuman, lifting Hanuman over their head and clapping hands, appreciating him. They offered honest praise in relation to Angada praised Hanuman for his great heroism and devotion to Lord Ram. Yeah, Angada told him, Hanuman, you could do this only because you are most trusted servant of Lord Ram. See, Lord Ram had one ring where that Rama was engraved, name was engraved, Rama. So Ram was thinking, I am sending people to north, east, west, south, all directions. To whom should I give this ring? Actually, he wanted the ring to be reached to whom? Mother Sita. So somehow Ram intuitively knew that the person who is going to find Sita is Hanuman. Therefore, Ram gave it to Hanuman only, that ring. Then when Hanuman went and gave in Lanka to Mother Sita, Sita cried loudly, seeing that ring. She touched it to her eyes and to her head. And she told Hanuman, you may not know how dear this ring is to me. She said one time in the Ayodhya palace, sometimes me and Ram will have Man Leela. Man Leela means Sita would become a little angry. You may ask why she becomes angry. That is also one type of Leela. Because after anger, what follows is great affection, correct? No? So she became angry and she wouldn't talk to Ram. Ram will try to persuade her to talk. He would go to her and she would turn her face away. If she would come, he would turn. He would come here, he would turn away. He was turning. Ram was wondering what to do. Then Ram employed a trick. She took his ring, and threw it in one corner. And then he went to the other corner searching. Did anybody see my ring? I lost my ring. He was selling. And Sita was surprised. This ring is lying here and he is going and searching. And that other side. And there was no one around. So Sita said, your ring is here. Like that she said. And Ram asked, where? Then she picked up the ring and gave it to Ram. And Ram accepted the ring and looked at Sita. Sita and Ram looked at each other and the man was finished after that. So Sita said, therefore this ring is very dear to my heart. Now that you have brought me this ring, she said, you are like my, she considered him like a guru. So you have connected me back to my master, Lord Ram. This is enough for me. I am getting so much nourishment to continue to live, she said. So then she gave the Chudamani to Hanuman and told, you please give it to Ram. Ram will appreciate this very much. And then so in this way, Lord Hanuman, if you see, Hanuman became a Ramadut first and then he became Sita Dut. Correct, no? See, when he became Ramadut, his tail was put on fire. How many of you know that? You know that? Correct, no? His tail was put on fire. When he became Sita Dut, he got embrace of Ram. So you should become whose Dut? Sita's Dut, correct, no? Therefore, Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakritimashritah Vajantyananya Manaso Jnatva Bhutadim Apyayam. Therefore, in our chanting Hare Krishna, we don't call Krishna first. Whom do you call first? Hare. Who is Hare? Radharani. So we always say Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram. Why? Because if you become servant of Sita, Lakshmi or Radharani, your tail will not be on fire. Rather, you will get the embrace of the Lord. So in this way, Hanuman became very dear to Ram by this. And then be eager to hear and listen to some devotee who has performed something wonderful for the mission of Lord and Guru. So Hanuman was ready to tell the entire story to all the monkeys he told, and to Jamban, everybody, how he found Sita, all the story about Lanka he gave information to them. It goes on like this. Now it's getting late, so 8 o'clock I'm going to conclude this. See, he's going to Ram. When he went to Ram, all the monkeys even went ahead of Hanuman and surrounded Ram and said, oh Lord Ram, good news we have brought for you. Sita has been found. And Ram started asking them more details. Tell me more details. They said, that we don't know, sorry, we'll bring Hanuman. Then they got Hanuman in the front after that. They put Hanuman in the front. Now Hanuman, all monkeys stood behind. And they put Hanuman in the front. Then Hanuman told all the details. So Ram became very pleased with Hanuman and he gave him embrace and all the monkeys are saying, Jai, Jai. See? Bajrang Bali Hanuman ki Jai. So Lord Ram told Hanuman, Hanuman, you are the best servant. Because a worst servant does not carry out master's order, although he is qualified. Even though he has the power to fulfill the instruction, he will not fulfill. And a mediocre servant means he never makes attempt to do more than what the master orders, even though he is capable. He's called the Balakapati. Balakapati means he has bal, but he will not do service. And best servant means he accomplishes more than the duty entrusted by the master. And Lord Ram told Hanuman, you not only found where is Sita, you also gave Sita some kind of solace by speaking to her. And you also threatened all the demons by creating a disturbance in Ashoka Vatika. Then you even entered into the palace of Ravana And Ravana wanted to insult Hanuman, and all his ministers were sitting on elevated seats. Ravana was sitting on a big seat, and he made Hanuman stand in the front, was not ready to give him any seat. Hanuman said, never mind, if you don't give seat, I will arrange my own seat. He arranged his tail like this. Arranged, and the tail became so tall. And Hanuman sat on the top, and Ravana had to see him like this while speaking. So Ram said, I am Rama's servant. How can you insult me by not giving a seat? I'll make my own seat. So Rama said, you are so intelligent, Hanuman. You did one bonus seva. What is that? Putting fire to Lanka. And came back and created a threat in the heart of the Asuras and came back. So you are the best servant, Lord Ram said. So in this way, Hanuman's character is very glorious. He's remembered for his immortal character, remembered for all time to come. But we learn a lot of lessons, as you all saw today, from Hanuman's life and his attitudes and his devotion. So I wanted to do this in 1 hour. Therefore, I made the PPT short. Otherwise, if you do it exhaustively in Ramayana time, we do it more exhaustively. All the finer details can be read. So if you all read Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, you will get so many valuable lessons in your daily life. Dealing with people, dealing with family members, friends, people in the office, with everybody. So in SRM University, AP, Andhra Pradesh, today morning there was a very grand international program. So they have offered us an opportunity to offer a course on Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is called Gita Daily. Sorry, Bhagavad Gita is called as Gita in Daily Life. And interpersonal lessons from Ramayana. Interpersonal dealing lessons from Ramayana. And Mahabharata, management principles from Mahabharata. So 3 courses we have made a syllabus and sent them. So which means colleges and universities are now opening up for such courses like this. But you are more intelligent than the college people. Before they make a invitation, you have come to temple here to learn these things yourself, which goes to show that you have taken a positive initiative in your lives. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions, please you can raise your hand. The mic will come to you.
If they don't have questions, they can have reflection also.
Yes, you can share your reflections upon the presentation.
They are absorbed in Hanuman. That's all. They can tell one lesson what they remember from the class. Anybody? You tell your name.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. My name is Arshab. I am from RNSIT. Prabhuji, like one lesson I learned from Lord Hanuman is like he can grow bigger and bigger and smaller. So it is like he can ready.
Ashtasiddhina vanidike data asubara janaki mata visena. So he has the siddhis to grow bigger or become smaller. These are ashtasiddhis. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. So like in one of your lectures only I heard that Lord Hanuman can become bigger and bigger and smaller because he can do biggest task for Lord Ram and the smallest task. He doesn't compromise in that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, my name is Srivatsa. I'm from RNSIT only. Prabhuji, my question was because I got into RNSIT through CET, my rank was not so good, bro. Mine is 37,000 rank, and my co-friends are like 6,000 and 5,000. You are saying about enviousness, bro. And actually, I also felt the same. They were all 6,000 and 5,000 people. So they are more educated, more knowledgeable than me. They answer a very lot, and I faced difficulties in solving problems. I was envious, bro. And
See, do you agree that there are boys who couldn't get into engineering at all?
yes, bro.
Are you not more fortunate than them? See, in material life, you should look like this. People below you, then you will feel grateful. Spiritual life, you should look like this. Because spiritual life, if you see people above you, you will also want to grow. In material life, you should see the underprivileged people, poor people, those who couldn't get career like the way you got. Then you will always be grateful what Krishna has arranged for you. Like one boy in one of the IITs cried loudly because he wanted to get into Microsoft in those days, but he could only get into Infosys. So he was crying for that. So all his friends told him, "Arey, you got into IIT and you joined a good company like Infosys. Why should you cry? There's no reason for crying. Because, the nature of our mind is whatever you get, it always wants something. And after you reach that you want, like that it keeps on going. There's no end only for that. So, are you going to go by the dictates of your mind, or are you going to learn what Lord Krishna has taught about equanimity? Na prahrishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam sthira buddhi rasam modo brahmani brahmavistitaha. He says you should have sthira buddhi. He says sthira buddhi means in any situation in life you are have a balanced mind. Don't get greed, envy, pride, agitation, because these things will actually spoil your health, and these thoughts are actually arising due to the fickle nature of the mind. Yeah. Now you are feeling envious of them. There are boys who are other friends who couldn't get to engineering. They are feeling envious for you. What do you say? Huh?
True.
So you like them to be envious of you? So imagine one of your friends, thick friends in your 12th standard, now he couldn't get to engineering. Now he looks at you, turns his face and goes away. Will you be happy?
No.
What will you tell him?
You'll also get good.
No, in case he couldn't get into engineering, so he sees that you got into RNSIT. So he was thick friends with you. Now he doesn't want to talk to you. What will you go and tell him? I'm asking you. Will you like it?
No, bro.
You won't like it. Same manner, those boys also will not like if they see that you are envious of them. They will say, "Arey, these are all superficial academics. Friendship is much different." Correct, no?
Yes.
So, one more thing you should know. Do you know the Punya account from the last life? That must be better, correct, no? Therefore, they cracked it like that.
Yes.
Correct, no? So, therefore, if you want to get better in life and make progress, you do your Punya from your side. You align with the right path of God. That's what Dhruva's mother told Dhruva. Dhruva, don't have envy for your stepbrother. You go to forest and think about your progress. See, you can do two things. You can pull those boys down, talk ill of them. Or you do bhakti to Lord and you make progress in your life. Which is better?
Second option is better.
Second. That's what you are already doing. Stay in the path. Correct, no?
Yes, bro. Thank you so much.
That's what Dhruva's mother told him. Yeah. Don't think anything ill of anybody. You progress in your life by connecting with God. Actually, God can give you progress better than those boys also if He wants. If He's pleased with you. No. Those boys got into, which college they got into?
RNSIT.
No, you are on SIT. Those fellows who have got 5,000.
Many of them are in my college only, bro. And because of my reservation, I got into the same
Okay.
college.
They may be a little higher. God can actually put you in even more higher pedestal. But materially, spiritually, any progress we have to make, we should go only to lotus feet of Krishna only. Because there is nobody in this world who can do miracles like what He can do. You have material desires, you have spiritual desires, always go to Him. What is that verse? Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaraditi vrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param, he says. Because nobody in this world can do, like you all know the story of this Ganesha and Kartikeya, no? See, one time, Mother Parvati got one mango. Somebody gave her big mango. So then she said, I have only one mango. I cannot give it to both the children. I can give to only one of them. So she said, both the children, say both of you go on a competition. Whoever finishes, circumambulating the whole world and coming first, they will get this mango. Then Kartikeya, the previous night only, he arranged his peacock ready. He told the peacock, hey, take good rest. Tomorrow we have to go around the world. Be brisk in the morning. All day you have to travel. It's a long distance. So he was very technically astute. He was very great in his competence. Who? Kartikeya. And our Ganesha had only this Mushika. So the next day morning, early morning, Kartikeya got up, 6 o'clock, he sat in his Vahan, started going, traveling around the world. And he sat on the back of Mushik. Who? Ganesh. And he was very confident that I can't come back in the evening, circumambulating the world. Instead of going with the Mushik to around the world, he went to Guruji. Family's guru is Narada. He went to Narada. And he offered him obeisance and said, oh, Munivar, this is the competition mother has given, but I don't have any clarity on what I should do. So whenever our mind is unclear, we should go to Guruji. So I have come to your Guru, you tell me what I should do. And Narada smiled and said, nothing to worry. He gave him one leaf, something covered, leaf covered with some silken cloth. He gave it to him. Keep it with you. Go to your mother and father, Shiva and Parvati, and circumambulate them 3 times and give it to your mother. You will get the mango, he said. Really? But what about going around the world? He said, you don't have to go. He said. So he went home, he gave it to mother and circumambulated the parents and offered obeisances. Mother opened and saw that inside there was a leaf in which it was engraved Rama. Name was engraved. Then evening, when Kartikeya came back very tired in the evening, so he said, now done, I have covered the whole world. Mother said, dear Kartikeya, dear Ganesh, the mango will go to Ganesh, she said. And she said, the reason I will tell you. In this world, 4 people are very important for you. Your mother is your first God, because she is the one who gives you breast milk, raises you from childhood. She bore you in her womb for 9 months, correct? No? So she is worshipable. But when you see the mother, she shows hand to father. He is a second God for you. He is also worshipable. And father shows hand to Guru. So then Guru is most worshipable. And Guru shows you hand to Krishna. And then she told her, see, he circumambulated husband, wife, Parvati and Shiva. So he has worshipped the parents. And also when he was in trouble, he went to Guruji. So he worshipped the Guru also. And Guru gave him Krishna by giving him the Ram Nam in a leaf. He came and showed. So he got God. In this way, he has pleased all the four of us. Therefore, he deserves the mango. And when Kartikeya heard it, he became upset. He said, am I not more competent than my brother Ganesh? She said, yes, you are competent, but he has character. Out of the two, which is more important, character or competence? Character is more important. Correct, no? Like imagine in your village, there is a doctor who is a local doctor, your very dear friend, is a physician, but he is not that competent. He has a local degree, MBBS or something he has. There is another London returned doctor whose name is Dr. Arganchor, famous doctor. He has started a hospital near the village in the town. So you can go to, you have to do a surgery. So some people are saying this Dr. Arganchor, he steals kidneys. You come to know. That is a problem. He will not steal both kidneys, only one he will steal. People say like that. So will you go to him for surgery or will you go to your local doctor friend? But he is a local man. Surgery is a very serious thing. He is not that competent like the London returned fellow. So let us take a vote. How many of you will go to the local doctor, your friend? We have almost 5 10 here and here another 10. How many of you will go to Dr. Arbenchor? Nobody. There's only one, I think. One hand up. Only one. He will take the risk of his organ. I think after the surgery, he will check whether both kidneys are there. If you find one missing, what you will do? You can give him the mic. He's going to speak.
Yes, Guruji.
What will you do? You don't mind losing one?
I will go to another doctor.
Yeah?
I will go to another doctor to check both my kidneys are okay.
Achha, you will not go to Achha, you will go and check afterwards.
To my friend. To my friend.
Achha, if you find one missing, what you will do?
I go to the same doctor and ask him, why did you remove it?
Then you have to put it back.
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it is to put back, I don't know. The body is a very delicate thing. Actually, people ask me what I will do. I told them I will take my physician doctor to the Dr. Arganchor. And I will tell him, don't blink your 2 eyes. Keep it open till the surgery is over. And I will tell him, sit right next to me. He will give me anesthesia. I may close my eyes, but you keep your eyes open. If this fellow is trying to do some mischief, catch him. Either I tell you. So in this way, we all have to combine character and competence. That's the whole point. Only competence, only character will not do. We need to combine both. Correct, no? Thank you. Good question.
Thank you so much. Jai.
We can do kirtans? Here only we can do. We have who are the instrument players? Hare Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna.
Everybody loudly, please. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Make circles. You can dance in circles.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Left side, voice to the left.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya 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 Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Jai Govinda Jai Gopal Jai Gopal Jai Govinda 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 Jai Gopal Keshav Madhava Dina Dayal Keshav Madhava Dina Dayal Jai Govinda Jai Gopal Jai Govinda Jai Gopal Keshav Madhava Dina Dayal Keshav Madhava Dina Dayal Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Shyam Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Shyam Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Lakshmana Bhakta Hanuman Sita Ram Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Sita Ram Jai Sita 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री श्री गौर निताई की लक्ष्मी इंद्र सिंह देव भगवान की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे